All right, so it's already rolling, huh?
May 20, 28, 29?
29, I think.
Yesterday was 28. We played this. Yeah. So I'm joined with Clark this time, and we're actually going to be talking about a big meeting that we had this week. It was Monday, right?
It was Monday.
It was Monday, and so like some of the top level things that where the game direction is going to go. So you've mentioned basically that we have around 4 weeks from that point. Well, now we have 3 weeks left for the content log. So I was curious about like learning a lot. What does content log actually mean?
It's a term in production because a lot of people like crafting a lot of materials in terms of like a 3D model, characters, sound, VFX, a lot of things like that. And the content log is basically say when content log hit us, no one checking in any extra content anymore.
Okay.
So whatever you want to drop into the game, you have to finish it before that date.
Yes.
And it's very crucial because making games are actually a never-ending process. Yeah. You can always making something better, but time
at some point you have to say
you have to stop. Exactly, because the time is always a very crucial thing.
Yeah.
So when content log happens, that like no more new things.
And then after content log happens, then what does the team do?
So when the content log starts finished, that's actually the real polishing and debugging really happens. Because you can imagine that if we say, okay guys, you have to finish everything by this date, normally what happens is everyone gonna rush their content into the build, right? And sometimes even some of them are not really fully finished yet.
Yeah.
That's normal. And once that content log is in fact, you can still polishing your stuff.
Yeah.
You can still polishing the thing in the build, but no new stuff checking in. So the major polish, and that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, so me and Maurice recorded obviously 4 weeks before, and we experienced our very first episode was about crashing the game. The game just didn't start for us. So we were at that location, and we experienced the game running better and better over time. So there's been some optimizations already happening, but I would expect after content log, that is where the actual improvements actually happen.
Yeah, of course. And also from the programming side, they need to know exactly how many content or assets in the game.
Yeah.
Then they will have a thorough analyze and where we can improve the quality and do the optimization. So that's why I mentioned that's where the magic happens, and that is where the game is really shaping up.
Yeah. And you mentioned like the 4 kind of core focuses of after the content law happens. Like you guys are kind of aiming to get the kind of first alpha candidate build going, and you had like 4 pillars that you're focusing on.
Is basically the focus for the gameplay for alpha build.
Yeah.
Because we need to focus on the core gameplay, which is the sync.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the UI and the UX is always the late one.
Yeah.
But also the most important one. So before everyone finish, then they cannot really putting in the final UI stuff.
Yeah.
That's why they will be late, but they will always be a major part. And another is the opener.
Yeah.
The opener basically is the tutorial and how to bring in new player into the game, explaining the world, explaining how this game is played. That will be in place. And what was the last one? I think that pretty much the
new version of sync, right? The mechanic that we can see here, where you have streamlined version of the way the nanos look, the way they're played, the way they're structured, right?
Yeah.
Because before, and the players have seen that so far, that when we played, me and Maurice, we would not know how many nanos we would hack. We would not know what they would do, how do you control them, how would they behave. So you're trying to streamline that as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a big part, and it's been through a lot of iterations.
Yeah.
And we from an idea of how that system should be played in the game. There's a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
So we think that could be cool. We think that could work, and then we put out the first version, and then when we test it, say, okay, we have this problem, that problem.
Yeah.
And while we were fixing that problem, new ideas were jumping in to see how we can make that better. And then it's another version, and then another version. And where we are now is actually a more stable and very clear version of that gameplay. And it serves it serves a lot of different purposes. Make the gameplay cleaner, make the tactic deeper, and make the control way more comfortable, and we can really enhance the team play. So with all those changes that this version we're having for alpha, we believe is the strongest version so far. And I think that it's still not the final version. Absolutely. Because we always listen to the people's feedback. We can always make it better.
No, absolutely, and as players can see, like the UI is very temporary, and like everything's like very early on, and it's actually the newest build, sort of like of the new sync version. Right? So it's like it's the very first iteration, and as the weeks go, we are going to be seeing more and more improvements. The map is also brand new. It's very small. It's very focused. It's very tight because you guys are just aiming to see how does this whole control work. And so, like, I'm imagining the previous map would come back at some point. So.
Oh, you will, because as you can see, this is we're using a lot of temporary assets. It's just to shape up a area where you can test the gameplay in different scenario, and you can imagine this is just a little part of the real map. So it's not the entire thing, but for us, it's easier to just test one system to see how that works. And when all the bugs or the major problem are nailed down, then we can say, we can move this whole system into the real map, which is the bigger one. Then we will be playing the game in that map.
Absolutely.
Right, so you've got a better sense of how this gameplay goes.
And that's why I just started at the opener. You already get like a pile of chips to just choose from, and then, get your guys and then just go to the action, because that is the core. Right? And then once you go from there, you just like double down and make it like a real full match. So it was really cool to see, and I love the new designs of.
This is still placeholder. It's still placeholder.
It is placeholder, but it's already shaping up to something that is much more kind of like iconic to me. It's like something that like I love the style. It really doesn't feel like something that we've seen before. So it's really promising, and so I'm really already in love with like the whole atmosphere. So I mean, I think that's pretty much it that I really want to find out, at least right now. Obviously, I'm going to bring you in.
No problem.
Sometime.
Anytime.
A few weeks later down the line as well, to give us some major update as well. But me and Maurice are going to be continuing playing this game, and over the course of time, we're going to just share our impressions, because I think the whole point of like Dev-Diaries is very often overproduced and like to try hard, kind of like trying to like sell people on the idea, but actually not giving them the behind the scenes of like how the game is shaping up to be. And that's what we are trying to do here. Like we are playing every week, we're telling them what we've noticed, how we felt about it, and like where the next steps could be. And like it's really kind of trying to like see from the seat of like a player, how would they react if they play the game as it is? Right?
Yeah, of course. And also for us, it's a very challenging but interesting process. Because making something brand new is always hard. But once these people started, hey, I like that. I really feel this could work. This and that. It's always positive.
Totally. So. Thank you so much for coming.
No problem.
I loved the latest build so far, and obviously we will have the B-roll rolling throughout our talk, so people can see that.
Cool.
We'll just see you in a few more weeks.
Cool.